All right, I am excited this morning or afternoon, depending on whose perspective you're looking at. Welcome, Simon.
Good evening, or good morning, or wherever you are.
Exactly. Well, this is a Canadian talking to you from Los Angeles to the UK. And if you would, let's get started. First of all, I wanted to thank you for participating in our leadership series. We appreciate the time, and I know the insights you're going to give are going to be of value to our business audience. So, without further ado, as they say, can you just introduce yourself, give a little sense of your background?
With pleasure, and good to be with you, Mark. And funny you should mention the Canadian connection because I am here in the UK. I'm talking into my iPhone in the vaults of the HSBC Bank after the High Street as I was scurrying back. Actually, I come from down in the West Country, and I come from the exact spot where the first ever telegraphic transmission was made by Guillermo Marconi back at
Wow.
the turn of the last century to Newfoundland, so your part of the world. So here we are again, over 100 years later.
What is that? 6 degrees
Uh,
of separation, right?
Absolutely. Slightly better connection this time, I think.
I think we do. And so let's keep it going. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what your background is.
Well, I actually am based in Asia. I live with my family in Singapore, the little island state which is sort of appended to the archipelago of Indonesia and at the tip of Malaysia. And of course, that is um, a phenomenal place. It's had a tremendous growth trajectory, and it's become a very important base for people doing business in the Southern Hemisphere, in Southeast Asia, in India. It's a very important jumping off point for Australia. And even people doing business in China are living and working and basing themselves out of Singapore, which is a marvelous modern metropolis
Sure.
in the tropics there. And I'm here in Europe just visiting my colleagues. We have an office here in London, and we're a regulated British asset management company. And that's really what I've been doing for the last 25 years, Mark. I'm focused today almost exclusively on emerging market investing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I try to do is make the task of looking at the countries that make up the geography of emerging markets a little less challenging by harnessing the talents of local managers, ensuring that they deliver a high alpha strategy, ensuring that they are available through a safe, transparent, and liquid investment platform. And we've set that up with State Street, a great US institution and obviously one of the world's largest custody banks. And our institutional clients are primarily pension funds. A lot of pension fund investors are now waking up to the opportunities in the growth markets of the world. They want to allocate more money to these markets, and they don't want to do it by just buying ETFs or putting their money with a single manager to do the whole of what is a very complex and expansive investment universe. So we enable them to still use a single entry point, but to gain exposure from managers in India, China, Brazil, the MENA region, Southeast Asia, and we've partnered with some of the leading financial institutions to do that in each of these geographies. So that's my primary focus, and I also am involved in an agricultural investment business. I think one of the other great secular trends of the next decade is going to be the need to provide more food, both food and fiber, and green energy, frankly. These, of course, are commodities that are grown on the land. And you're a Canadian. You live in the great country of the United States, which are tremendous agricultural nations. But in terms of expanding our ability to produce more food, we're really now moving into countries which have larger land masses available and the greater availability of water. And so Latin America is an important area of focus for us. Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Peru, where we grow those beautiful blueberries you probably eat for your breakfast every day.
Mm-hmm.
And Australia and New Zealand, which are really the bread baskets for the Asian marketplace. And China has really been a phenomenal game changer in the agricultural world over the last decade, as people have moved from the country into the cities and adopted a more high protein diet, a more Western style diet, as they live out an urban existence, and they have to rely on the way the world has evolved in terms of providing food for people who live in cities. So this is an investment opportunity. It gets me out into the countryside. I get to pull on some boots and get down on the farm occasionally, which makes a change from shuffling paper in an office, which I spent far too many years doing. So
I get
the second half of my professional life, Mark, I guess, is focused on getting out and about and looking at some of these tremendous challenges for us as investors and working out how best to access these opportunities.